In the boundless lands of the holy martial continent, strength was the only law. The weak were trampled, and only the powerful stood tall. The name of Tang Yun had once echoed through the halls of Green Spirit Sword Mansion, praised as a peerless martial genius. But fate had a cruel sense of irony. On the day of his martial soul awakening ceremony, where every disciple would summon the spirit that defined their path of cultivation, Tang Yun failed. The whispers began immediately. The Sword Mansion spent countless resources raising him, and for what? Trash without a martial soul. Wasn't he so impressive back then? Claiming to be some once-in-a-century martial arts genius? What a joke! If he hadn't hogged our resources, maybe we would have awakened powerful martial souls by now. Anger brewed in the hearts of the disciples as envy turned to venom. At the center of this storm stood Elder Huang, his face like thunderclouds. His stern voice cracked through the courtyard. Tang Yun, you still have the face to show yourself here? From this moment forth, the Sword Mansion has no place for trash like you. Pack your belongings and leave immediately. Before the final verdict could fall, a slender figure stepped forward. Qin Luoyin, the celebrated young miss of the Qin family, and Tang Yun's childhood friend, stood before the elder. Wait! Elder, please, grant Tang Yun one more chance. Tomorrow's martial soul awakening ceremony, let him try again. I will take him there myself. Her voice, resolute and gentle, silenced the courtyard. Gasps followed. If the elder refuses, I, Qin Luoyin, will leave the Sword Mansion alongside him. And let it be known, if not for the Tang family's support back then, this mansion would have crumbled long ago. Elder Huang's face twisted in rage. Enough! Say no more. He pointed at them both. Very well. Tomorrow, you two will awaken together. But from this day forth, Green Spirit Sword Mansion and the Tang family owe each other nothing. No one will speak of the past again. Do you hear me? Tang Yun clenched his fists, his heart heavy. Luoyin, I should be the one protecting you, not the other way around. The next day, Spirit Awakening Platform. A sea of spectators gathered around the Spirit Awakening Platform, eager for a spectacle. Hey, what's happening over there? One disciple nudged another. 2 people on the platform? Isn't that forbidden? You don't even recognize him? That's Tang Yun, or what's left of him. The fallen genius of our Sword Mansion. The young miss of the Qin family hasn't given up on him for some reason. Pathetic. She's throwing herself away for a cripple. Near the edge of the platform, a smug-faced youth swaggered over, flanked by 2 fawning girls. Zhao Liang, Tang Yun's old rival. Well. Tang Yun, I've waited 3 long years for this day. Zhao Liang sneered. That injury you gave me. Today, I settled the score. Tang Yun ignored the jeers, his eyes on Luoyin. Thank you, for standing by me. He remembered Elder Huang's cold words. You know the risk of 2 people awakening together. You'll drag Qin Luoyin down. If you care about her, leave. Repay the Sword Mansion by disappearing. Tang Yun sighed. I understand. Let me protect you, one last time. With determined steps, he approached the edge of the platform. The elder's voice rang out. Green Spirit Sword Mansion's outer disciple, Tang Yun, with a mortal body and dull talent, has failed to awaken a martial soul. From this day forth, expelled from the mansion, never to return. Cheers and mocking laughter followed. Serves him right. He was never worthy of the young miss anyway. In that world, the strong devoured the weak. It was the law. But then, the platform shimmered with light. A crystal-like lotus appeared above Luoyin's head, encased in cold mist. Gasps filled the air. Quick, look! She's awakened! Is that an ice lorry? The strongest ice-type martial soul. As expected of junior sister Qin. Beautiful and powerful. Tang Yun smiled weakly. Congratulations. Luoyin. As bitterness welled inside him, a sudden attack came from behind. A palm strike aimed at his back. Tang Yun's instincts screamed. He twisted, dodging it by a hair's breadth. You! What's your problem? It was Zhao Liang. Damn you! Still quick for a cripple. Get lost, you're an eyesore. Tang Yun's gaze sharpened. And you think you get to decide when I leave, mutt? Still acting arrogant like it's 3 years ago, huh? No martial soul and still looking down on me? Luoyin must be blind to care about a waste like you. Xiao Liang's palm glowed. Martial soul, release! A shadowy serpent formed behind him. Tang Yun blinked, detected martial soul, snake shadow. Copy martial soul? Yes. In a flash, a similar shadow serpent coiled behind Tang Yun. The crowd exploded in disbelief. That's Tang Yun's martial soul! When did he awaken? Xiao Liang charged, their powers colliding. Though seemingly equal, Tang Yun's newly copied soul pulsed with superior strength. With precise movements and ruthless blows, Tang Yun overwhelmed his foe. Xiao Liang stumbled back, bruised and bloodied. How? How can you have the same martial soul? Tang Yun stepped forward, voice low. Who said it's the same? Mine is stronger. Then a voice echoed in Tang Yun's mind. You are the inheritor. Awaken. Xiao Liang screamed, his power surging recklessly. I won't lose to you again. Unforgivable. I'll kill you. But before he could strike, a chilling wind swept over them. Luoyin's ki condensed into an icy blade. So much nonsense. A single wave of her hand, Xiao Liang froze in place, his body encased in ice, his face twisted in terror. Silence claimed the platform. Tang Yun rushed to her. Luoyin, are you all right? But she turned, her eyes cold and unreadable. She leveled her sword at his throat. Stay away from me, scumbag! Tang Yun's heart clenched as her words cut deeper than any blade. Tang Yun had barely caught his breath after the chaotic events at the Spirit Awakening platform when Luoyin suddenly stormed into him, her face flushed with a mixture of anger and something else entirely. Without a word, she drew her sword, pointing it straight at his throat. You liar! You were going to abandon me and leave me all alone, weren't you? She shouted. Caught off guard, Tang Yun hastily dodged as she lunged forward, her blade slashing the air where he had been a moment ago. Wait, Luoyin, calm down, it's a misunderstanding. Tang Yun tried to explain as he dodged her relentless strikes, weaving between the attacks with the instincts of a seasoned martial artist. But Luoyin wasn't listening. Go to hell, she shrieked, swinging at him again. Realizing she wasn't going to stop, Tang Yun sighed and muttered to himself. Guess I'll have to use the old method. In a sudden burst of movement, he closed the distance between them, caught Luoyin's wrist, and deftly flipped her onto the floor. Before she could react, he pinned her down, straddling her, as she struggled beneath him. Forgive my rudeness, Tang Yun whispered. Just then, the familiar voice of the system echoed in his mind. Martial soul detected, topped her ice lorry. Do you wish to copy? Tang Yun's eyes glinted. As expected. I can copy others' martial souls through physical contact, he thought. Copy, he commanded mentally. But the system responded coldly. Target's emotion value insufficient. Martial soul copy failed. Emotion value? Tang Yun blinked in confusion. What the hell is that? As if in response, Luoyin's face suddenly softened, a blush creeping up her cheeks. Her struggling slowed, her breathing grew shallow. The system chimed again, emotion value reached 100%. Martial soul copy successful. Tang Yun grinned in satisfaction. Luoyin, her face red, spoke hesitantly. Tang Yun, can you, get off me now? Both of them sat up, turning their backs to each other, flustered and silent for a moment. The tension hung thick in the air. Calm down, Luoyin, Tang Yun muttered awkwardly. Tang Yun, be responsible for this, Luoyin said, voice barely above a whisper. And marry me. Tang Yun nearly choked on his own breath. Later, inside a private chamber, Luoyin sat beside Tang Yun, holding his hand tightly. You've always protected me, no matter what anyone else said, she whispered. Even if you can't awaken a martial soul, even if everyone calls you trash, it doesn't matter to me. You can marry into my family. From now on, don't face everything alone. Tang Yun sighed. Luoyin, is it really okay to call me trash so directly? He joked, earning a playful glare from her. I'm serious, she insisted. You'll always be the best in my heart. I'll always be by your side. I won't let you down again, Tang Yun promised. Wait here. Luoyin smiled, standing up. I'll go call my father. After she left, Tang Yun sat alone in the room, his thoughts racing. It seems the reason I couldn't awaken a martial soul is because I can copy others' martial souls through contact. This power is too strange. I shouldn't tell Luoyin for now, it might put her in danger. Just then, the door slid open and Luoyin stepped back inside. Brother Tang Yun, I'm back, she said sweetly. Tang Yun blinked. Back already? Where's father-in-law? He'll be here in a moment, she replied, closing the door. Brother Tang Yun. I'm feeling so cold. She hugged herself and shivered. Tang Yun's face turned slightly red. Luoyin, why are you being so clingy all of a sudden? And not that I mind. Brother Tang Yun, quick, touch me here. I'm cold right here, she cooed, pointing to her collarbone. Tang Yun hesitated. Touch, where? Right here, she smiled. Suddenly the system spoke in his head, topped her martial soul detected, Water Moon. Do you wish to copy? Tang Yun's eyes widened. Not Ice Lori? Then this isn't Luoyin, he realized. He forced himself to stay calm. All right. I'll help you, he said, walking toward the door. Just let me close this first. But inside he thought grimly. Who is this woman? How did she get into the Chen residence? And what happened to the real Luoyin? As soon as he turned, the fake Luoyin's eyes narrowed with smug satisfaction. As expected, you can't resist temptation. Let's see your true colors now. But before she could make a move, Tang Yun summoned his martial soul. A mass of snake shadows surged from his palm, wrapping around her ankles and swiftly slithering up her body. What's happening? So many snakes! The woman shrieked in terror. You don't need to be afraid, Tang Yun said coldly. I summoned them. I know you're not Luoyin. Who are you? Who sent you? And where is the real Luoyin? What are you talking about? I am Luoyin, she insisted. Tang Yun's expression darkened. Still won't admit it? Fine. Let's see if you can keep pretending once these snakes reveal your true face. The snakes slithered higher, and the impostor's resolve cracked. Ah. No, not there. Stop. I admit it, she cried out. Meanwhile, outside the room, the real Luoyin was approaching with her father. Father, Tang Yun is a good man. He's kind, brave, responsible, she was saying. All right, her father chuckled. We'll see for ourselves when we meet him. As they neared the guest room, strange sounds came from inside. Moans and shouts echoed faintly. Is that a girl's voice? Luoyin's father frowned. They exchanged a worried glance and pushed the door open. Inside, they saw Tang Yun holding a woman tightly bound by snake shadows, her disheveled appearance indecent, as she shouted, Brother-in-law, forgive me! I was wrong! Luoyin and her father froze in shock. Tang Yun turned, his face paling as he saw them. What? He gulped. This isn't what it looks like. Tang Yun! Luoyin's father bellowed. I am doomed, Tang Yun muttered. The atmosphere inside the grand hall was thick with tension. Several members of the Qin family sat in a semicircle, while Tang Yun stood alone in front of them like a prisoner awaiting judgment. The air felt heavy, as though even the walls could sense the weight of the situation. Tang Yun fidgeted, unsure of what words could salvage this. What should I say? Caught red-handed, with my sister-in-law, right at the start. This is beyond explanation. At last, Chen Beihai, Luoyin's father, broke the silence, his stern voice echoing through the hall. Luoyin, look carefully. This is the man you chose. Luoyin bit her lip, hesitating. Then she spoke up. Father, perhaps Tang Yun has his reasons. Enough. Chen Beihai snapped. Stop speaking for him. I want to hear it from his own mouth. Luoyin turned anxious eyes to Tang Yun. Tang Yun, was what happened just now with Manhua truly an accident? Tang Yun grimaced. Damn it, what do I do now? He thought bitterly. Before he could answer, Manhua suddenly stepped forward. Her voice was small and guilty. Daddy, it's all my fault. Everyone turned toward her in surprise. I was just joking around with Brother Tang Yun. I pretended to be sister and, well, that's how Brother Tang Yun misunderstood. Luoyin's eyes widened. You mean? Tang Yun thought you were me? Manhua nodded hurriedly. Exactly. And thanks to this, I finally know how sister and Brother Tang Yun usually interact. She gave a teasing grin. Luoyin's face instantly flushed scarlet. Manhua, stop spouting nonsense. Enough of this foolishness. Chen Beihai barked. This isn't a game. Luoyin's mother, Madame Chen, sighed, placing a hand over her heart. Daughter, are you truly set on marrying Tang Yun? Luoyin looked down, her voice soft but firm. Mother, I've made up my mind. If Tang Yun hadn't saved me back then, I, Qin Luoyin, wouldn't even be alive today. And I really like him. I want to marry him. Manhua suddenly interjected. Sister, I'm afraid Tang Yun won't be able to become my brother-in-law so easily. Tang Yun raised a brow. Miss Qin, what do you mean by that? Manhua's tone turned serious. Because yesterday, the city lord's son, Jin Yulong, sent an official proposal to our family. The marriage proposal is for my sister. The room fell silent. Chen Beihai's face turned grim. The Jin family is already powerful, and now they've aligned themselves with the rising warring states. They plan to use this marriage to tighten their grip on Wu Sword sect. We have no intention of making an enemy of the warring states. Madame Chen's face paled. Master, under the new imperial policy, can we even stay out of it? What are we supposed to do? Sacrifice our daughter's happiness to save ourselves? Chen Beihai clenched his fists. Damn it, if it were any other house, I wouldn't hesitate. But the problem isn't the Jin family, it's who's behind them. Manhua smirked. I have an idea that might help Wu Sword sect survive this crisis. But it depends on whether someone dares to do it. Tang Yun straightened. Miss Qin, speak plainly. If there's anything I, Tang Yun, can do, no matter how dangerous, I will not refuse. Linghua's eyes glinted. Since you're so righteous, I'll say it directly. Becoming my brother-in-law is first come, first served. If you and sister seal the deal first, the Jin family won't have a leg to stand on. Tang Yun blinked, then grinned. Seal the deal, huh? Luoyin's cheeks turned crimson. Manhua, what are you saying? It's so embarrassing. What are you two thinking? Manhua teased with a smirk. I meant get married. Madame Chen quickly said. Getting married now, it might indeed be a solution. She looked at Tang Yun. But you must understand, young man, the warring states won't give up so easily. The Jin family's proposal is more than just marriage, it's a declaration of territorial control. If they succeed, our Wu Sword sect's 1,000-year foundation will crumble. Luoyin raised her head proudly. Mother, don't worry. I've awakened the divine imprint martial soul now. I'm not afraid of the Jin family. Chen Beihai sighed. The Jin family isn't scary. What's frightening is what lies behind them. Tang Yun took Luoyin's hand. Uncle Chen, no matter the risks, I won't let anyone harm Luoyin. Brother Tang Yun is so brave. Manhua clapped her hands playfully. Madame Chen turned to her husband. Master, since the children are fond of each other, why not let them do as Manhua suggested? Let them marry now and cut off the Jin family's plans. But Manhua raised a hand. No. It won't be that easy. If you want to marry my sister, you'll have to do it the proper way. Go through the public martial recruitment process for a son-in-law. Defeat all other suitors. And you'll also have to be willing to become a live-in son-in-law of our Qin family. Madame Chen's face darkened, raising her hand to smack Manhua. You're spouting nonsense. Young Master Tang has already risked his life offending those major powers for our daughter's sake. How dare you belittle him? Tang Yun quickly stepped forward. Auntie, it's fine. If I can marry Luoyin, I don't mind the status of a live-in son-in-law. Luoyin's heart warmed at his words, and she smiled shyly. Tang Yun continued, his gaze sharp. Second, Miss Linghua, I see through your little scheme. You plan to use me as a shield for Wu Sword Sect's safety. Fine, I'll accept. But remember this, you overlooked one thing. Oh? And what's that? Linghua asked. Tang Yun's voice grew solemn. You shouldn't sacrifice your sister's happiness for the sect's safety. I'll fight in this martial recruitment not for power or politics, but to prove that Luoyin chose a worthy man. I will never use her happiness as a gamble. Qin Beihai's stern face finally softened into a rare smile. Good, good. Well said. My daughter didn't choose the wrong man after all. Madame Qin nodded in approval. Linghua, you should learn from your sister. When you pick a man, find one with this kind of backbone. Linghua pouted. Sister, I didn't mean it like that. Don't listen to this scoundrel trying to sow discord between us sisters. Luoyin smiled gently. It's fine, even if you did. Sister doesn't blame you. Linghua's lips trembled, and tears welled up in her eyes. I really didn't mean to cause trouble. Madame Qin patted her shoulder. All right, enough. The martial recruitment's tomorrow. Everyone get some rest. Everyone quietly agreed and dispersed. Later that night, dark clouds gathered overhead, covering the moon. Inside her dimly lit room, Linghua sat cross-legged. Before her lay a crude cloth doll, crudely stitched, with Tang Yun's name scrawled in red ink on its forehead. Grinning wickedly, she jabbed a needle into the doll's chest. Stinky man, why do you all side with him? I'm so mad, so mad. She pierced the doll again and again, giggling softly in the gloom. This grudge. I'll definitely repay it. Heh. I have an idea. Brother-in-law, you better not run away tomorrow. The wind howled outside the window. Next day, Wu Sword Sect, Mystic Realm Forest. In the depths of the ancient, mist-laden Mystic Realm Forest, two thuggish disciples hurried through the underbrush, their footsteps light but urgent. Senior brother, why'd they teleport us here for this martial arts recruitment thing? Wouldn't it be easier in an arena? Asked the younger, wiping sweat from his brow. His senior glared at him. No wonder Master calls you a fool. Didn't you see how many geniuses are here? Hundreds, from every sword mansion in the region. If they fought in one arena, it'd take days. This way's faster, kill or be killed, nature's rules. The younger one blinked. I see. But, is the Qin family's eldest miss really that beautiful? Like a celestial fairy? Worth all this? The senior snorted, half amused. Calling me a fool while spouting idioms, this idiot. Not just that. She awakened a heaven-rank martial soul, heaven rank. Plus, whoever marries her gains the whole Wu Sword Sect. Who wouldn't be tempted? Every clan and faction sent their best for a shot at this. The younger gulped. Then what chance do we have? Our strength's nothing compared to them. Ha! Don't worry, if strength doesn't work, we've got our looks, don't we? A short distance away, hidden in the shadowed trees, Tang Yun listened in silence, eyes narrowed. So many shameless men after my Luoyin. Don't blame me for being ruthless. Tang Yun smirked, patting the ancient jade mirror hanging at his waist, the heavenly moon mirror, a divine artifact given to him by Luoyin before he left. It could reveal the locations of any presence within the mystic realm and display distant images. In his other hand, he held a delicate parchment, the Wu Sword Sect Participant Register, its surface still carrying Luoyin's faint floral scent. Hammer Martial Soul, no. Weed Martial Soul, useless. What the hell? Sausage Martial Soul? Tang Yun frowned, flipping through names. Suddenly his gaze sharpened. Li Jingyan Faction. Green Spirit Sword Mansion. Martial Soul, Invisibility. Found you. Elsewhere in the forest, chaos reigned as traps and ambushes claimed countless cultivators. Ack! Watch the pit! Linghua, disguised as a young boy, silently watched from a tree branch, a cold gleam in her eye. Good, 2 more down. Everyone wants my sister, especially that damn Tang Yun. She clenched her teeth, recalling the humiliation from yesterday. Since childhood, I've played in this mystic realm. Tang Yun, this time, you won't escape me. But as she moved, a shadow silently appeared behind her. A sharp, cold gleam streaked through the air, a dagger slicing the fabric of her robe, leaving a shallow cut across her hand. Startled, Linghua turned to see a man stepping out, licking his lips, eyes gleaming with sick desire. Heh, what a pretty little boy. Can't move now, can you? My poison works fast. Don't fight it, Big Brother's going to teach you something new. Linghua's body trembled, her limbs sluggish and heavy. Fear surged in her chest. Someone, help! Cry all you want, the more you struggle, the more fun it is. As the man's hand stretched towards her, a sudden blow sent him flying through the trees, crashing into a trunk with a sickening thud. Linghua's tear-filled eyes widened. Tang Yun stood before her, sword in hand, face cold. The man spat blood, glaring. Who dares? His eyes widened in recognition. Tang Yun? Long time no see, senior brotherly. Tang Yun's tone was calm, deadly. Li's expression twisted. You meddlesome bastard, I know you awakened the snake shadow martial soul, but with that trash soul, don't think you can take my prey. Tang Yun's grip tightened. Who said I'm here to steal your prey? I came to clean up scum. They clashed, sword against dagger. Sparks burst in the air. Since you want to die so badly, let's see you bleed. Li smirked, awakening his martial soul. The air around him rippled as he vanished. Be careful, Tang Yun. He can turn invisible. Linghua shouted desperately. Shut up, idiot. Don't distract me. Tang Yun snapped without looking back. Linghua pouted, tears threatening her eyes. Invisible strikes flashed, but each time, Tang Yun's sword moved, parrying the unseen blows with unnerving precision. What? How's he keeping up? Li growled in disbelief. Then, a sinister idea struck him. If I can't beat him, his burden should be easier. He shot toward Linghua. No! Tang Yun's eyes flared. In a heartbeat, he was in front of her, taking the dagger meant for her in his side. Li sneered. Damn fool, didn't like men before, but now you jump to save one? Seems we're more alike than I thought. Shut up, you bastard, you're filth. Tang Yun gritted his teeth. And now I've got you. He suddenly grabbed Li's wrist. What? You shouldn't be able to move. A cold smile curled Tang Yun's lips. Who told you I only have one martial soul? Li's face contorted. Impossible. No one can have 2 martial souls. Who the hell are you? I'm your daddy. At that moment, a clear notification echoed in Tang Yun's mind. System notification, martial soul detected, shadow sneak. Emotion value 100%. Do you wish to copy? Copy. Martial soul copy successful. Tang Yun's sword flashed, a streak of cold light, severing Li's head from his shoulders. Daring to approach me, a mage with hard crowd control? You overreached. Tang Yun muttered. He wiped his blade clean, then crouched beside the trembling Linghua. Why wasn't this guy's name in the register? A spy. First things first. Cure this kid's poison. These clothes are in the way. Better take them off first. Tang Yun reached for the fastenings as the scene faded into the dark mist of the Mystic Realm. After some time, Mystic Realm Forest. A gentle warmth caressed Linghua's face as consciousness slowly returned to her. For a moment, she felt as if she were resting in a safe, serene place. So warm, where is this? Suddenly, her eyes snapped open in alarm. The memory of that scoundrel's attack came flooding back, and her gaze fell upon a figure sitting leisurely nearby. It was Tang Yun, fiddling with a branch and humming to himself. Why you? Linhua's heart skipped a beat. Her eyes quickly scanned her own body, and then she noticed it. She was clad in nothing but her undergarments, her face flushed crimson. Tang Yun glanced over, raising an eyebrow. Oh, you're awake, little brother. How about we put some clothes on first? The words struck Manhwa like thunder. Clothes, wait, could it be? Her face turned beet red. Without thinking, she slapped Tang Yun hard across the cheek, a crisp smack echoing through the quiet forest. Wyu, she stammered, quickly scrambling to a secluded spot behind a tree to dress, her mind a whirlwind of mortification and fury. Tang Yun, rubbing his cheek, chuckled. Brother, we're both men, no need to be so shy, but I gotta say, your skin's really fair and smooth, not like a man's at all. Hearing this, Linghua's anger reached its peak. She gritted her teeth, thinking, he saw everything. I should silence him right here. She slowly crept behind him, her hand gripping the hilt of her dagger. But Tang Yun's next words made her hesitate. That was dangerous just now. Lucky I arrived in time. Does your arm still hurt? Linghua froze. So, he was only trying to help. I was so busy being embarrassed, I misunderstood him. And he doesn't even know I'm a girl. She huffed, crossing her arms. Humph, I owe you my life this time. But don't think for a second that I'll let you have my sister just because of this. Tang Yun smirked, relieved. Phew, that was close. Gotta be careful teasing this little sister-in-law in the future. Wonder if her emotion value's high enough now. Her martial soul's pretty special. By the way, little brother, I'm your lifesaver, you know. You still haven't told me your name. Linghua glared at him. This damn Tang Yun, always taking advantage. I'm a disciple of the Zen Wu sword sect. Just call me Xia Yen. Tang Yun grinned. Hearing your name, I can tell you're no ordinary person. You're destined for greatness, brother. At that moment, the system's voice echoed in Tang Yun's mind. Insufficient emotion value. Unable to copy martial soul. Tang Yun shrugged. Ah well, no rush. By the way, let me check your wound. No need. Linghua snapped. It's already healed. Just go away, you pervert. Don't come near me. Tang Yun leaned in with a grin. Come on now. But before he could finish, his foot slipped on a loose rock, and he toppled forward, crashing into Linghua. She shrieked. Help! Tang Yun's being a hooligan. Shoo! Keep it down! Tang Yun clamped a hand over her mouth. We've been trapped in a formation. Tang Yun's expression darkened. According to the register Luo gave me, the only one with a formation martial soul is Ingvida. Raising his voice, Tang Yun taunted. Since you're here, Your Excellency, why not show yourself? Dark smoke began to coil around them, and a sinister voice spoke from the shadows. Tang Yun, how does my 7 Absolutes formation feel? Tang Yun snorted. The name sounds imposing, but it's not doing much. Planning to bore me to death? The man laughed coldly. Don't worry, soon this formation will drain all your spiritual power and leave you as withered corpses. Tang Yun thought quickly. A spirit-draining array. I can't let this drag out. Since you're so confident, why don't you come out and face me? Or are you scared? He goaded. Ha! Me, afraid of a mongrel like you? I am a true disciple of Green Spirit Sword Mansion. Compared to me, you're nothing but a stray dog. Tang Yun clicked his tongue. Wow, impressive. So this is how a dignified true disciple behaves, cowering like a rat in the shadows. Bet you're a wax-tip spear down there too. Bastard. You think you can provoke me into revealing myself? As the voice roared, Tang Yun suddenly leapt forward and struck a tree with a sword slash, shattering a large portion of it. The man's figure was momentarily revealed as he dodged, startled. What? You were aiming for my position, from that distance? Tang Yun smirked. Told you, your attack range is way too short. Infuriated, the man unleashed a powerful strike that destroyed Tang Yun's snake construct. But when he looked again, Tang Yun was gone. Where? A cold gleam flashed behind him. Too late. Tang Yun appeared like a phantom, his sword plunging into the man's back, piercing his chest. The man coughed blood, eyes wide. How did you? Relax. Soon your martial soul will be mine too. Tang Yun reached out, grabbing the man's waist where his martial soul imprint lay. System notification. Martial soul detected. Formation spirit. Copy? Yes. He shoved the man off the branch. As he fell to his death, Tang Yun called down mockingly. Go keep your friend company. Emotion value reached 100%. Martial soul copy successful. Manhua, witnessing the scene from nearby, felt a chill. This bastard, he's ridiculously strong. Tang Yun let out a satisfied sigh. Didn't expect to gather all the martial souls I needed so quickly. Time to put my plan into action. He turned toward Manhua with a teasing grin. Cute little sister-in-law, brother-in-law will play with you again next time. Remember to eat more, you're way too thin. With that, he vanished into the mist. Linghua's face burned crimson. Wait, when did he figure it out? Tang Yun, you bastard, don't you run! Next day, Mystic Realm exit. A man lay unconscious near the formation gate, beaten within an inch of his life. Another cultivator sneered, stepping over him. Really, even trash like this dares to fight over my fiancé? The man raised his voice to the gathered crowd. I am Jin Tianhao, son-in-law personally appointed by the Thousand Mountain King. All of you, withdraw from this recruitment trial immediately. Anyone who dares refuse, this man is your example. As murmurs spread, the recruitment ground fell silent. Just then, a regal, imposing figure arrived, Luoyin's father. Uncle Qin. Jin Tianhao's face brightened. You've come to your senses, haven't you? Going to marry Luoyin to me at last? I knew you were a reasonable man. Don't worry, with our two families allied, the Thousand Mountain King will surely reward us. He laughed proudly. By the way, where's Miss Luoyin? May I finally meet my bride-to-be? But Luoyin's father's expression was grim. I have an announcement. The air seemed to freeze. My daughter has eloped with Tang Yun. Jin Tianhao's face turned as pale as death. What? A collective gasp echoed through the gathered cultivators. Manhua, hiding in the crowd, nearly choked. What? They eloped? Qin Ganju, sect master of Wu Sword Sect and Luoyin's father, stood calmly on the platform, facing the frustrated crowd. Jin Tianhao, a prominent disciple of the Jin family, scowled and barked. Uncle Qin, isn't your Wu Sword Sect being far too unkind? So many of us gathered here to participate in the martial arts recruitment, and now Luoyin, the promised prize, has run off with that nobody, Tang Yun. And you stand there as if nothing's happened. Is this your way of mocking us? The surrounding martial artists chimed in. Yes. Exactly. Does the Wu Sword Sect think it can look down on the rest of us like this? Jin Tianhao crossed his arms smugly. Uncle Qin, I advise you to think carefully. Oppose us now, and you won't just offend the Jin family, but also the major sword sects present, the Thousand Mountain King backing me, and even the Violet Crown dynasty itself. The overall trend cannot be defied. The crowd nodded, their indignation building. Qin Ganju's expression turned sharp and cold. Boy, shut your mouth. His voice boomed like a thunderclap, silencing the crowd. Qin Ganju's gaze swept across the martial artists gathered. Listen well. My daughter is not some prize to be competed for. If you truly have the ability, then go fight for her openly, not whimper like dogs when someone else seizes the initiative. No wonder my daughter looks down on the likes of you. Jin Tianhao's face darkened. Qin Ganju continued, his voice steady and firm. To be clear, I let them go myself. And don't think to pressure me with your petty alliances and threats. As long as I, Qin Ganju, draw breath, no one will force my daughter to do what she doesn't wish to do. His presence weighed heavily on the crowd, and no one dared speak. Jin Tianhao clenched his fists. This old man, how domineering. But Qin Ganju wasn't finished. He raised a crystal ball before the assembly. Here. This is the message Tang Yun left for you all. Watch it, and decide your next move. I have no interest in entertaining you further. He turned and left without another word. The gathered cultivators leaned in eagerly as the crystal ball activated. Tang Yun's grinning face appeared. Hey! Can you all hear me? Haha, didn't expect this, did you? Tang Yun's tone was mocking and light-hearted. You bunch of half-wits honestly came here thinking you could compete for my wife? With your pea-brained IQ? Idiots! If you've got guts, come find me at Taihu Lake, north of the city. I'm honeymooning with Luoyin right now. Luoyin, give me a kiss! A shy voice answered off-screen. I don't want to. The video cut out. The faces of the gathered martial artists flushed with rage. This damn Tang Yun! He's courting death! Forget Luoyin, that dog must die! Jin Tianhao's face contorted with fury. North of the city, huh? You're dead, Tang Yun. I'll break your bones and drag you back in pieces. Scene: Wu Sword Sect Inner Hall. At that moment, back in the Wu Sword Sect, Qin Ganju stood in quiet contemplation beneath an ancient mount. His wife approached silently behind him. Still worried, husband? She asked softly. Qin Ganju sighed. I wonder if that Tang family brat's plan will really succeed. His wife smiled gently. Luoyin chose him herself. Trust her judgment. He's the descendant of that person, after all. Just then, a panicked disciple came rushing over. Master! Bad news! Qin Ganju turned sharply. What's the commotion? Speak! The disciple handed him a letter. It's from Second Miss. She's run away from home. She left a note saying she's also going to find Tang Yun. Qin Ganju's face twisted in fury. Tang Yun, you beast! You ungrateful little! His wife gasped. Husband, calm down. But it was too late. Qin Ganju fainted on the spot. Quick! Call the doctor! His wife cried. Scene: Night by the riverbank. Under the moonlit sky, beside the gentle ripple of the lake, Tang Yun lay with his head resting on Luoyin's lap. The fire crackled softly nearby. Brother Yun. Luoyin hesitated. Why do you have the same martial soul as me? Tang Yun closed his eyes. I'm sorry, Luoyin. I can't tell you everything yet. I was abandoned by the Tang family as a child. I've hidden my strength all these years to survive. But when the time is right, I promise you'll know everything. Luoyin smiled and gently kissed his cheek. It's okay. I trust you. She rose gracefully. I'm going to bathe in the lake. You wait here and no peeking, understood? She wagged a finger at him before disappearing into the mist. Tang Yun sighed contentedly. If I hadn't accidentally awakened this power to copy martial souls, we would have been separated long ago. I must keep growing stronger. Only then can I protect this happiness. He glanced at the formation he'd set up. By tomorrow, those dogs will come running into my trap. But as he sat by the fire, a mischievous thought surfaced. Bathing with my wife, perfectly natural, right? It's not peeking. I'm protecting her from any perverts who might be lurking. He crept toward the lake, only to freeze mid-step. In the shimmering water stood a slender, enchanting figure. But it wasn't Luoyin, it was a fox demoness, her pale hair cascading down her back, bathing under the moonlight. Tang Yun's eyes widened. Oh no, this isn't my wife. Before he could flee, Luoyin's voice sounded behind him. Tang Yun! What are you doing here? Didn't I tell you to stay put? Startled, Tang Yun spun around and hastily clamped a hand over her mouth. SSSHHH. There's a fox demon bathing over there. Don't let her hear us. The two of them peered back, and saw nothing. The spot was empty. Tang Yun stammered. Wait, I swear she was just. But Luoyin wasn't having it. She grabbed his ear and yanked him away. Tang Yun! You pervert! Come here! Tang Yun pleaded. Wife, I'm innocent. I swear! Unbeknownst to them, from the shadowed branches of a nearby tree, the fox demoness watched them silently, a curious gleam in her golden eyes. Elsewhere, Manhua, Luoyin's feisty younger sister, was lost in the dense forest. Ugh! Which way is north? Damn you, Tang Yun! Where did you take my sister? She stomped her foot and wandered deeper into the darkness, cursing the couple's names. Nightfall at Taihu Lake. The night wind rustled through the trees, carrying the scent of fresh grass and the gentle lapping of water against the shore. In a small clearing by the riverbank, a tent had been set up where Tang Yun and Luoyin had taken shelter after a day of evading their pursuers. Inside the tent, Tang Yun flashed a mischievous grin and pleaded, "Wifey, just let me stay inside the tent tonight. I swear, I won't do anything improper." Luoyin crossed her arms, glaring at him with narrowed eyes. "I don't believe you for a second. You were just trying to peek at me while I was bathing earlier." "I already told you it was a misunderstanding," Tang Yun protested, but Luoyin wasn't having it. With a swift kick, she sent him tumbling out of the tent. "Sleep outside." No complaints. Dusting himself off, Tang Yun sighed in frustration. All right. But remember what you said. After we deal with those bastards tomorrow, you'll compensate me." Luoyin's cheeks flushed faintly, and she muttered, Yeah. Now sleep already." As the night deepened, a sweet, strange fragrance wafted through the air. Luoyin, still inside the tent, quickly drifted into a deep sleep. Outside, Tang Yun's head grew heavy, and his eyelids drooped against his will. "What is this smell?" he murmured, slumping to the ground and losing consciousness. Some time later, Tang Yun awoke groggily, suspended by ropes from a tree branch. His arms were bound, and a smirking, alluring fox demoness stood before him, a whip in hand. He, finally awake, little brother?" she purred. Tang Yun groaned, surveying his predicament. "Damn, the demon clans really don't play around." Then, forcing a grin, he said, Beautiful sister fox demon, why were you looking for me?" "Wait, it's not about peeking, is it?" The fox demon narrowed her eyes. "I haven't seen you around before. Why did you come to this forest?" Tang Yun's heart skipped a beat. Good, she didn't notice me peeking. At least not yet. Putting on his most sincere face, he replied, "My wife and I came here for our honeymoon. We didn't know this was your territory, sister. Apologies for the intrusion." She snorted, unconvinced. "A honeymoon? You expect me to buy such a lame excuse?" She cracked the whip beside his face. "You won't talk? Fine, let's see if a little pain loosens that tongue." Whap! Whap! Tang Yun yelped. "Sister, I swear it's the truth. Any more and I might develop strange hobbies." Before the fox demon could continue, a cold voice cut through the clearing. "You seem to be enjoying yourself, huh?" Both turned as a young girl clad in green robes floated down from the treetops, her sharp eyes fixed on the fox demon. "I finally caught you. Hand over the clan's sacred artifact." The fox demon's playful demeanor turned feral. She hissed and bolted into the forest. "Do you think you can escape?" the girl called, launching vines that wrapped around the fox demon's limbs and dragged her back. The girl glared down at her captive. "Where did you hide it? Speak!" I don't know," the fox demon stammered. "Wrong answer." The girl spun the fox demon around with her vines, flinging her against a tree. Meanwhile, Tang Yun wriggled free from his bindings and fell to the ground with a heavy thud. Spotting the distraction, he bolted. "Sorry, fox sister, I already have a wife, so I'll be leaving now." He ran as fast as he could, but the green-robed girl appeared before him in a flash. "Little friend," she said with a faint smile, "where are you off to?" Tang Yun's heart sank. "I'm done for." "Have you seen our sacred artifact?" she asked. Thinking fast, Tang Yun pointed behind her. "Over there!" The moment she turned her head, Tang Yun activated his invisibility technique and vanished. The girl blinked. "He turned invisible? How boring. I thought he had more backbone." But before Tang Yun could get far, the girl launched vines that ensnared him mid-run, slamming him to the ground. "This time, answer properly," she commanded. Bound again, Tang Yun sighed. "All right, then listen carefully." Channeling Luoyin's martial soul, he unleashed a burst of icy energy. Frozen soul art! Frost spread around the clearing, briefly halting the girl's vines. Tang Yun grinned. Did it work? But as the mist cleared, the girl stood unharmed, flicking a strand of hair from her face. That's it. What kind of monster is this? Even fusing 4 martial souls didn't leave a scratch. Turning to the fox demon slumped nearby, Tang Yun shouted. Hey, stop playing dead! If we don't team up, we're done for! The fox demon opened one eye, then reluctantly rose. Fine. Let's go! Charge! Tang Yun cried, but the fox demon bolted in the opposite direction, vanishing into the trees. Damn fox! Betrayed again! Tang Yun cursed. Meanwhile, back at the riverside camp, Luoyin lay asleep inside the tent. Shadows approached, 2 thugs creeping through the underbrush. Senior brother, this should be the place, one whispered. The other spat. A pair of shameless lovers. We'll send them both to hell. Without warning, the second thug lunged, slashing his blade down to tear through the tent. The moon hung high over the forest clearing, casting a pale glow over the quiet riverside. The tent where Luoyin had been sleeping fluttered slightly in the wind. Suddenly, a shadow moved. A second thug grinned maliciously as he stepped forward, raising his weapon. Hey, let's see how those shameless lovers look when they're dead. With a savage swing of his blade, he tore the tent open, only to find it empty. His smirk froze. Inside lay nothing but a neatly arranged pillow under the covers. What the hell? He exclaimed in shock. From behind, the first thug called out in alarm. Be careful, idiot! It might be a trap. But it was too late. A sudden gust of cold air swept through the clearing as Luoyin appeared behind them like a phantom, eyes gleaming with cold fury. With a flick of her slender fingers, a shard of ice shot through the second thug's throat. Blood sprayed into the air, and the man dropped lifelessly to the ground. The first thug's face twisted in horror. Why you killed my senior brother! Damn woman! Do you know who I am? I'm powerful, you hear me? You! But even as he shouted, he took a step back, trembling. I have things to do today, I'll deal with you next time. Without another word, he turned and bolted toward the trees. Luoyin sneered. As expected, scum? The thug let out a desperate, shaky laugh. Hey, you fool, this is my real escape route. But before he could finish, an icy spear pierced his chest, freezing him mid-run. His body crystallized, and with a flick of her wrist, Luoyin shattered him into glittering shards. As she wiped a smear of blood from her cheek, Luoyin sensed a presence. Turning, she saw Jean Tinehao striding arrogantly toward her, his white robe untouched, a smug grin on his lips. Truly impressive, Jean Tinehao said, clapping slowly. Worthy of being my fiancé. My father was right. The Qin family's prize jewel truly outshines the rest. His lackey echoed behind him. Yes, young Master Jean Tinehao. Luoyin's heart tightened. Why are they here already? Where's Tang Yun? Could they have? Jean Tinehao laughed. What's with the long face, Miss Jean? Don't tell me, abandoned by that good-for-nothing Tang Yun? How pitiful! Luoyin bit her lip but said nothing. Good, they don't know where Tang Yun is. That means, he's safe. For now. Jean Tinehao stepped closer. No need to glare at me like that. I won't hold it against you for rejecting my proposal, staging a martial arts recruitment, and running off with that stray dog. As long as you obediently return with me now, everything will be forgiven. After all, I'm Jean Tinehao, of the Jean family. It's your honor. Shut up, Luoyin snapped coldly. Long-winded, disgusting fool. I don't have time to waste on you. Move. Tinehao's expression darkened. You refuse my kindness? Fine, face the consequences. Capture her. Yes, young master. Two elite cultivators lunged at Luoyin, blades flashing. She dodged the first, blocked the second, but one sword slashed across her hand, blood staining her skin. Pain seared through her, but her expression didn't falter. With a defiant cry, she summoned her martial soul, and a brilliant frost swept out from her body. Ice crystals danced in the air, and in a burst of freezing light, both attackers were encased in solid ice. Luin hurled them away with a wave of her hand. I told you, I don't have time for this. Jean Tianhao's eyes gleamed with excitement. Splendid! A heaven-rank martial soul, even better than I expected. Come, Luin. Be my woman. I promise you 100 years of prosperity for your Wu sword sect. You're not worthy. Luin spat. She raised her hand. From within her chest, a magnificent ice phoenix burst forth, its cry splitting the sky as it circled overhead. Jean Tianhao's lips curled. Useless, useless. No matter how bright you shine, your martial soul is no match for mine. Obediently submit. Our union will birth a flawless martial soul heir. I'd rather die. Luin's voice rang out like frost-covered steel. Far away, Tang Yun lay bloodied and broken on the ground. The girl in green loomed over him, a cold glint in her eyes. So you're still alive, huh? A human with 4 martial souls, just like that person. I can't let a menace like you live. She raised her foot to crush his skull. Inside Tang Yun's head, a voice echoed. Brother Tang Yun, hurry. Louis needs you. The system's voice followed. Activate martial soul battle armor. Tang Yun coughed, blood dripping from his lips. What? Battle armor? Whatever it is, do it. Insufficient emotion value. Activation failed. His vision blurred. Damn it. I don't want to die. I endured 3 humiliating years, mocked for my uselessness. I finally copied these martial souls. And now everyone wants to steal my wife and crush me like a bug? You want emotion value? Fine, take it. Fury surged in his chest, memories of every insult, every betrayal, every struggle roaring in his mind. Damn you, emotion value, just freaking activate! Lightning crackled around him. Power erupted in a violent burst. The ground quaked as a pulse of energy shattered the air. The green-robed girl staggered back, eyes wide. When the dust cleared, Tang Yun stood tall, his body encased in shimmering, battle-forged armor. Ice and lightning danced along its surface, his eyes now burning crimson. What the? The girl gasped. Tang Yun stepped forward, grabbed her by the throat, and slammed her into the earth. Remember this feeling. He drove his boot into her face. Frost surged, and the earth trembled. The girl managed to crawl away, bloodied and gasping, but her lips twisted into a grin. Not bad, kid. I'll remember you. Next time, a proper fight. For now, there's bigger business. And with that, she vanished into the forest's shadows. As Tang Yun's fury surged, he turned toward the distant sound of battle. Luin. He raced through the forest, his armor gleaming in the moonlight. In the clearing, Luin lay bloodied and gasping, Jean Tianhao looming over her, blade in hand. Little beauty, he sneered. Give up. It's over. But Luin gritted her teeth, summoning the last reserves of her strength. An icy mist swirled around her feet, the air crackling with freezing energy. I won't, not to someone like you. Without warning, she lunged forward, releasing a surge of icy power. Massive shards of ice erupted from the ground, shooting toward Jean Tianhao with deadly precision. His eyes widened. What? He hastily leapt back, narrowly avoiding the strike, but the ground beneath his feet froze instantly. Thick frost encased his boots, locking him in place. The very air seemed to freeze solid. Jean Tianhao's expression twisted in disbelief. Even the surrounding airs turned to ice. She's burning her life force. Could it be? Luin! He shouted and raged. So what if you submit to Mu Lian's techniques? Was it worth it to burn your own life force just to oppose me? But Luin stood tall, blood trickling down her arm, eyes shining with cold, unwavering defiance. Someone like you, she spat, raising her arm as ice pillars burst skyward around her. I'd rather die than let you lay a single finger on me. The ice pillars weren't random. Luin vaulted between them, using them as stepping stones to accelerate at astonishing speed. With every step, her figure blurred. Jean Tianhao's heart pounded. Not good. she's using those ice pillars to boost her speed. She closed in, faster than his eye could track. Jean Tinehao swung his sword desperately, but Luoyin's form blurred past him. A sharp sting sliced across his cheek. Blood splattered. She's getting faster, Jean Tinehao thought, a flicker of panic in his chest. Luoyin came at him again, faster, stronger. Let's see you dodge this one, she cried, unleashing a piercing strike. Jean Tinehao barely sidestepped, but she was relentless. The cold air howled as Luoyin summoned another attack. The speed made it near impossible to track. Desperation gave Jean Tinehao a cruel edge. He feinted, then swung low. His sword slashed across Luoyin's thigh, drawing a cry of pain from her. She staggered, her momentum broken, and tumbled to the ground. Jean Tinehao grinned triumphantly. You've lost, Luoyin. Be good now. A sharp, concussive sound split the air. Wham! A fist slammed into Jean Tinehao's jaw, sending him hurtling through the air like a ragdoll. He crashed against a tree with a sickening thud. Luoyin's eyes widened in shock. There, standing before her, wreathed in an aura of lightning and frost, his battle armor gleaming, was Tang Yun. His crimson eyes blazed with uncontrollable rage, his breath like a raging beast's. Tang Yun, Luoyin whispered. But Tang Yun wasn't himself. His body trembled with sheer killing intent, his voice like a roar. You dare! Jean Tinehao, spitting blood, forced himself to his feet. He glared ahead. You're Tang Yun? What the hell is that martial soul? But Tang Yun had already vanished. Jean Tinehao's senses screamed, behind. He turned just as Tang Yun's fist came hurtling toward his face. In desperation, Jean Tinehao threw up a protective barrier. The translucent wall shimmered. It shattered on impact. Tang Yun's punch drove straight into his gut. The blow folded Jean Tinehao in half, spittle and blood erupting from his mouth. Impossible. My martial soul, it's useless? This is vector control. Before he could process it, Tang Yun grabbed him by the ankle, whirled him around like a rag doll, and slammed him into the earth with bone-crushing force. The ground cratered from the impact. How dare you! Tang Yun snarled, his voice barely human. Anyone who bullies my wife dies for it. Tang Yun's battle aura surged, wild and unchecked, his rage so potent the very air quaked. Jean Tinehao coughed blood, his body broken, but Tang Yun wasn't finished. A guttural roar tore from Tang Yun's throat as he raised his fist again. The air still shimmered with residual spiritual energy. Tang Yun stood over Jean Tinehao's broken body, his foot pressed mercilessly against the defeated man's chest. Every time Jean Tinehao let out a pained scream, Tang Yun's lips curled into a savage grin, a dark satisfaction gleaming in his bloodshot eyes. Ha ha ha, scream louder, you dog! Tang Yun spat, his battle armor crackling with volatile energy as he stomped down again and again. The sickening crunch of bones and bloodied cries echoed through the forest clearing. From a distance, Luoyin watched in stunned disbelief. Is this, really Brother Tang Yun? This wasn't the humble, loyal man she knew. This was a ruthless beast driven by unyielding rage. She gritted her teeth and shouted, her voice trembling. Stop! Brother Tang Yun, that's enough! He's already dead! For a moment, the world seemed to pause. Tang Yun froze, his foot mid-stomp, then slowly turned his head toward her. His crimson eyes flickered. Luoyin! Protect! Brother Tang Yun, protect Luoyin! The manic fury in his gaze made Luoyin's heart race in fear. She instinctively closed her eyes, bracing herself. But instead of an attack, a warm, calloused hand gently rested on her head. She opened her eyes in surprise. The battle armor faded. The crimson hue left Tang Yun's eyes, returning them to their familiar, gentle black. His face was pale and drenched in sweat, but the fury was gone. Brother Tang Yun, Luoyin whispered, eyes misting with relief. A faint, exhausted smile crossed Tang Yun's lips before his body gave out, and he collapsed into her arms. Luoyin caught him instinctively, cradling him against her blood-stained robes. Some time later, Luoyin sat beneath a tree, her back against its trunk. Tang Yun lay unconscious in her lap, his expression calm as if in a peaceful sleep. She brushed the sweat-soaked strands of hair from his face and murmured softly, "You big idiot, always protecting me." Just then, a rustling came from the nearby bushes. Luoyin's heart clenched. Not now, please, not another enemy. Tensing, she turned toward the sound. "Who's there? Show yourself!" For a terrifying moment, no one replied, and then a familiar, frightened voice called out, "Don't scare me like that, Sister Luoyin." It was Manhwa, peeking out with wide eyes. Luoyin exhaled, a weight lifting from her chest. "Manhwa, it's you!" Her vision blurred. She hadn't realized how close to breaking she was. Later, as Luoyin's consciousness faded from exhaustion, she awoke to find Manhwa grinning down at her. "You're finally awake, sister." Luoyin rubbed her eyes. "Where's Brother Tang Yun?" Manhwa pouted. "Why do you care about that heartless man?" "Humph." Luoyin frowned. "Manhwa, don't mess around." "Where is he?" Manhwa crossed her arms with a teasing grin. "I was afraid he might take advantage of you while you were out cold, so I tied him up over there." Luoyin's heart lurched. "You what?" Ignoring Manhwa's protests, she scrambled to her feet, dashing into the forest. Sister, wait!" Manhwa shouted after her, scowling. "Humph, sister's so biased, always siding with that useless brother-in-law." Luoyin pushed aside bushes and branches until she found Tang Yun, thoroughly tied with thick ropes. Even his mouth was gagged with a cloth band. When Tang Yun spotted her, his eyes shone with joy. "My wife's here to save me. Finally! My sister-in-law's a demon." Without hesitation, Luoyin knelt and embraced him tightly. "Brother Tang Yun! You're safe!" Tang Yun's eyes bulged. Too tight, bones cracking, help! Unable to speak, he writhed as Luoyin squeezed even harder, mistaking his agony for exhaustion. "I was so scared, thank heavens you're okay." "Gods, let me out, let me out!" Tang Yun's soul silently screamed. Finally, Luoyin noticed his pained expression and quickly cut the ropes. Tang Yun slumped in relief, gasping. "Almost strangled to death by my own wife," he muttered under his breath. "Are you all right, Brother Tang Yun?" she asked, concerned. He forced a weak smile. "It's okay now. Really." At that moment, Manhwa appeared again, hands on her hips. "Humph! See, sister? Smelly brother-in-law's clinging to you again." Luoyin's expression darkened. "Manhwa, don't talk about your brother-in-law like that. But when I arrived, only you were injured. Brother-in-law didn't have a scratch on him. He's a coward!" Smack! A sharp slap echoed through the clearing. Manhwa's eyes widened in shock, one hand to her cheek. "Apologize to your brother-in-law," Luoyin said coldly. "He's not the man you think he is. I won't tolerate anyone slandering him, not even my own sister." Tears welled in Manhwa's eyes. "Sister's bullying me," she whispered and darted away into the woods. Luoyin sighed and made to follow, but Tang Yun gently caught her hand. "Let her be. She means no harm. She's just worried about you." Luoyin clenched his hand tighter. "Even so, I won't allow anyone to insult you." Tang Yun smiled softly and pulled her into a light embrace. "You're my woman. It's only natural I protect you. I'll go find her. This forest isn't safe yet. We need to make plans before more trouble comes." Luoyin nodded, a warm smile breaking through her exhaustion. "Be careful." Tang Yun gave her hand a squeeze and vanished into the trees. The dense forest was calm, with only the occasional rustle of leaves under the wind's touch. Tang Yun moved swiftly between the trees, his senses sharpened, searching for the little troublemaker who had stormed off in tears. Before long, he caught sight of a figure sitting alone beneath a crooked old tree, head lowered, shoulders trembling faintly. It was Manhwa. Her face was streaked with tears, and she hugged her knees tightly, quietly sobbing. Tang Yun sighed and approached with a light smile. "Manhwa, what a coincidence! Out for a walk too?" he teased gently. Linghua turned her head away, refusing to look at him, her nose still sniffling. Unfazed, Tang Yun crouched beside her. All right, don't be mad. I know you're worried about your sister. You don't have to be so stubborn about it. He reached out to pat her shoulder, but she brushed his hand away. I refuse, she snapped, voice quivering, refusing to meet his gaze. Tang Yun sighed, standing up. Linghua, if you really don't want to see me, fine. Just go home first. He turned to leave. But as he took a step, a small hand gripped the hem of his robe. Startled, he looked back. Linghua was biting her lip, eyes shimmering with unshed tears. Brother-in-law. I don't know the way back, she admitted in a small, pitiful voice. Tang Yun chuckled under his breath. Then what was all that attitude for? He gently ruffled her hair, and without another word, led her back toward their temporary camp. When they returned, Luyin was sitting beneath a tree, cleaning her sword with a soft cloth. She looked up, relief flickering across her face when she saw them. Tang Yun gave a little grin. All right, Linghua. Time to apologize to your sister. Linghua shuffled awkwardly, her face red as she mumbled. Sister, I'm sorry. I was too impulsive just now. But Luyin shook her head. Linghua, the one you need to apologize to isn't me. Her voice was stern but kind. It's brother Tang Yun. He risked his life for us. Apologize to him, and I'll forgive you. Linghua's jaw dropped. Apologize to that smelly brother-in-law? Me? She stiffened, her thoughts screaming humiliation, absolute humiliation. She gritted her teeth and forced the words. Brother-in-law, I. Before she could finish, Tang Yun laughed and waved his hand. Forget it. No need for formalities. We've more important things to worry about. Linghua sighed in relief while Luyin gave Tang Yun a warm look of gratitude. Luyin placed her hand on her forehead, thinking aloud. Jin Tianhao died at our hands. If we return to town, the Jin family will use this against us. It's better if we stay away for now. Tang Yun nodded. I was already planning a trip to Fang City. It's the most prosperous trade hub in the entire Hanong realm. There you can buy anything, spirit stones, precious artifacts, medicinal treasures, even ancient hidden weapons if you have the coin. Linghua frowned. Brother-in-law, are you treating us like fools? Fang City's over 1,000 kilometers from here. We'd be old and gray by the time we walk there. Tang Yun smirked. Look what I've got. From within his robe, he pulled out a gleaming token inscribed with ancient runes. A faint blue glow radiated from it, and both girls gasped. A teleport anchor token? Luyin and Linghua exclaimed in unison. Linghua's eyes widened in disbelief. Where did you get something so valuable? This kind of thing can link to teleportation arrays across major cities. Tang Yun casually pointed at the blood-stained corpse of Jin Tianhao. He was kind enough to leave it behind for me. He grinned. No wonder they covered so much ground in half a day. It all makes sense now. Luyin's expression grew firm. Then it's settled. Our next stop, Fang City. Linghua cheered. Yay! Tang Yun smirked, glancing slyly at Luyin's blushing face. Looks like our elopement's really happening after all. Tang Yun! Luyin huffed, turning away, her cheeks tinged pink. Stinky brother-in-law, Linghua grumbled, though a playful grin tugged at her lips. The next morning, deep within Fang City, behind the grand auction house, two burly guards dragged a wriggling sack to a shadowy figure seated at a stone table behind the building. My lord, look what we caught, one of them said, grinning. The figure gestured lazily, and they opened the sack. Out tumbled a slender, silver-haired figure, a fox demon woman. Her wrists were bound, and her eyes burned with defiance. The man, a cruel-looking official with sharp cheekbones and a predatory smile, leaned forward. Well, this is a fine catch. A rare little prize indeed. He let out a low laugh, his gaze glinting. Tonight's auction will be most entertaining. Luyin, her delicate face masked with a veil to avoid attention, glanced around warily. Brother Tang Yun, what should we do first? She asked. Tang Yun rubbed his chin thoughtfully. Fang City is huge, and trouble's probably already sniffing around for us. We need to gather information, trade off the stuff we looted from Jin Tianhao and his group, and make plans for our next move. Then he narrowed his eyes at Manhua, who was eagerly peering at a stall selling candied fruits. But tell me, Manhua, why exactly did you tag along again? Manhua immediately crossed her arms, huffing. If I wasn't afraid you'd take advantage of my sister while no one's watching, I wouldn't have come. Yet inwardly, she thought to herself, and there's no way I'm going home alone. What if father really sells me off to protect the family? I'm not going back without sister. Tang Yun smirked. Humph, it's not your sister you're worried about. You just have no sense of direction and would get lost before sundown. You're the one who's bad with directions. Manhua snapped, punching him lightly in the stomach. Tang Yun winced. How dare you hit your brother-in-law? Watch how I teach you a lesson. The two of them scuffled like children, swatting at each other amidst the lively street until Luoyin's icy glare cut through the air. You two! Quiet down and behave yourselves, or go sleep in the stables tonight. Both instantly froze and gave a meek, synchronized salute. Yes, ma'am. The next morning, after a sleepless night at a humble inn, the trio stepped back onto the crowded street. A sudden murmur rippled through the onlookers as they passed. Quick, look there! What beautiful sisters! Hey, over there, miss! Hello, hi! You're absolutely stunning! Luoyin ignored them, but one bold, silk-robed youth stepped forward. His face was plump but handsome, his outfit gaudy, and his posture far too confident. Young lady, he greeted with a practiced smile. I am Tang Tu, the Yuan family's young master. My family controls half of Fang City's wealth. May I know your esteemed name? Luoyin's expression darkened. What do you want? Tang Tu chuckled. Oh, don't be like that. I'm just offering to be your guide. No one knows Fang City better than me. I guarantee you'll have a flawless, unforgettable time if you let me accompany you. His words oozed with smugness, his chest puffed out. But before he could continue, Luoyin coldly released a wave of martial power. The sheer oppressive force instantly made the surrounding air heavy, sending chills down the spines of the gathered onlookers. Scram! She ordered. The crowd gasped. She's a martial artist, and her martial soul is so powerful. Big Head Yuan kicked an iron plate this time. Tang Tu's face paled. His legs trembled before he dropped to his knees. I didn't know you were a martial master, miss. I was too presumptuous. Please forgive me. The pressure vanished as Luoyin withdrew her power. Just then, a casual hand landed on Tang Tu's shoulder. Buddy, your skills at hitting on women are terrible. Tang Tu looked up in horror. Brother, don't mess around. She's a martial artist with a soul beast. She'll kill you. It was Tang Yun. Grinning, he leaned in. Let me show you how a real man picks up a lady. The crowd burst into snickers and jeers. Ha! What's a nobody like him showing off for? He's barely worth the dust on our shoes. If he can pull this off, pigs could climb trees. Tang Yun ignored them, stepped up to Luoyin, wrapped his arm around her slender waist, and grinned. Hey there, cutie. How about you come browse the auction house with Big Brother? Luoyin's face turned crimson. She hesitated, then shyly followed him, brushing his hand away with a glare she didn't quite mean. The crowd was dumbstruck. Holy crap! He actually did it? Tang Tu slapped his own face in disbelief. A true Casanova! Big Brother, please accept me as your godson. Godfather, your son is here! And he ran after them. Inside the grand auction hall, a booming voice called out over the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's auction. Elegant bidders sat in private booths while martial artists, nobles, and merchants filled the seats below. Tang Yun and the girls found seats near the back. Next up, a mysterious hammer. Said to contain ancient lightning power, it will only recognize a chosen master. A dull, cracked hammer was carried on stage. What is this junk? Tang Yun grumbled. Next item, a doll of unknown material, very soft. Possible training dummy or decorative companion. A weird, limbless cloth doll was held up. What are they selling, a junkyard? Tang Yun muttered. Next, a stone mask, rumored to contain hidden, terrifying power. Usage unknown. The mask looked old, its surface worn and sinister. Tang Yun rolled his eyes. Forget it, wife. Let's go. This auction isn't serious. But then the announcer's voice rose in excitement. And now, our grand finale item. The rarest catch of the season, a fox demon. Tang Yun's head snapped around. What did you just say? A cage was wheeled onto the stage, and inside was a silver-haired fox demon woman, her gaze cold and proud despite the chains around her. Tang Yun's lips curled into a smirk. Now this is interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, the announcer proclaimed, voice thick with excitement. This is our grand finale item for tonight. A noble, purebred fox demon. The crowd buzzed in excitement. A fox demon? Inside the cage sat a striking silver-haired demoness. Though her wrists and ankles were shackled in heavy chains, the announcer continued smugly. A fox demon is not only a powerful enforcer, but also a rare and exotic plaything for those of taste. The words drew shameless laughter from parts of the hall. Starting bid, 100 gold coins. The bidding begins now. I bid 100. 200. 300. 1,000 gold coins. A loud, oily voice boomed from one of the private balconies above. The room fell silent for a breath before dozens of necks craned upward. There sat a grotesquely fat man, dressed in gaudy embroidered robes with a face round as a steamed bun. Holy crap! That's Chien Bugu. The infamous young master as famous as Big Head Yuan. It's over, it's over, this fox demon's doomed to be his plaything now. The announcer, eyes gleaming, called out. 1,000 gold coins. Are there any other bids? If not, the fox demon will belong to young Master Chien. Inwardly, the announcer sighed bitterly. With a price like that, who'd dare challenge him? Damn it, my commission just vanished. 1,000 going once. 1,000 going twice. I'd bid 1,001 gold coins. A calm, teasing voice echoed through the hall. Everyone turned, stunned, toward the source. It was Tang Yun, sitting casually in his seat, a lazy grin on his face. The fat man's eyes bulged. Kid, you have a death wish? Chien Bugu growled. I'm warning you, don't mess with your big brother. This auction house's waters are deep. One wrong move and you'll drown before you can cry for help. Tang Yun shrugged nonchalantly. All right. Then, without missing a beat, Chien Bugu called. 1,500 gold coins. 1,501. Tang Yun immediately countered. Gasps filled the room. 2,000. 2,001. Chien Bugu's face turned beet red. Kid, are you doing this on purpose? Tang Yun stretched lazily, grinning. On purpose? Not really. I just have a little too much money lying around. It's taking up too much space, you know? Without waiting, Tang Yun raised his hand. 20,000 gold coins. The entire hall fell silent. One man choked on his tea. Someone else dropped their bidding paddle. 20,000 gold? Holy shit! That's enough to buy 6 fox demons. Who is this lunatic? Chien Bugu was livid, his jowls trembling. I don't believe you can keep this up. I bid 30,000 gold coins. The announcer's voice cracked in excitement. 30,000. Young Master Chien Bugu offers 30,000 gold coins. Are there any higher bids? Tang Yun casually raised his hand, but before he could speak. Stop bidding, brother-in-law! Manhwa yelped, tugging at his sleeve. Sister's angry! Tang Yun froze and slowly turned his head. Sure enough, Luoyin was deathly quiet, her face expressionless, her gaze colder than an ice cavern. Tang Yun's grin stiffened. Oh no, my wife's jealous. Revenge is important, but an angry wife is scarier than any demon. He coughed. Ahem, well, since someone else wants it so badly, this generous young master will reluctantly let it go. 30,000 gold going once. 30,000 going twice. 30,000 gold coins, sold to young Master Chien. The crowd exploded in murmurs and whispers. Chien Bürger puffed up with smug satisfaction, until realization struck him. Wait, why did he give up? Was this a setup? Tang Yun turned, smiling slyly. Young Master Chien, don't forget to pay up. Don't tell me you can't afford 30,000 gold and will have to sell your family's estate. That would be tragic. Chien Bürger's face contorted, a mixture of rage and terror. As Tang Yun tried to hold Luin's hand, she briskly shook it off and strode out of the hall, veil fluttering. Wife! Wait for me! Tang Yun called, chasing after her. Chien Bürger seethed, his fists clenching, and stormed toward the exit. As he reached the door, a figure blocked his way, Tang Tu, beaming brightly. Godfather! Chien Bürger cried in relief. But Tang Tu scowled and slapped him across the head. Shut up, you worthless trash! Do you even know who you provoked just now? Who was that? That's my real dad. What? Chien Bürger nearly collapsed. Then what should I do now? Tang Tu rubbed his chin, grinning as a plan formed in his head. Well, there's one thing you can do. At that moment, 2 guards appeared, dragging the fox demon behind them. Her eyes, once fierce, now seemed dim, her chains clinking as she was hauled along. I have an idea, Tang Tu whispered darkly. That night, back at their modest inn, Tang Yun lay sprawled on the wooden floor, his arms under his head, staring at the ceiling with a weary sigh. Suddenly, a soft voice called from outside the window. Daddy, are you asleep? Tang Yun stirred, grumbling. Who the hell is calling me daddy at this hour? He lazily opened the wooden window and peered out. Under the dim moonlight, standing in the courtyard below was none other than Tang Tu, looking up with a grin plastered across his face. Tang Yun rolled his eyes. I really don't want to bother with this guy. But curiosity won over. He sighed, got to his feet, quietly slid the door open, and stepped outside. What is it? Tang Yun asked, scratching his head. You're that guy from the auction earlier. Brother, do you need something from me? To Tang Yun's surprise, Tang Tu immediately dropped to his knees with a loud thud, bowing reverently. Godfather above, please accept this humble child's bow. Tang Yun blinked in confusion. Huh? What's going on now? Tang Tu, face solemn, declared. This humble one deeply admires Godfather's unparalleled prowess with women, and humbly wishes to become your disciple. I beg you to teach me your supreme arts of picking up girls. Tang Yun gave him a long, dubious look. Seriously? Tang Tu quickly clapped his hands and signaled. 2 guards emerged from the shadows, dragging a bound fox demon behind them. Though still shackled, her silvery hair glinted in the moonlight, and her face was pale from exhaustion. Godfather, Tang Tu beamed. I heard you were interested in this little fox at the auction, so I went and bought her out for you. Consider it a token of this child's sincerity. Please, don't refuse. With that, he shoved the girl forward, her knees hitting the ground before Tang Yun. Tang Yun smirked. Since you're so sincere, fine. I'll reluctantly accept being your godfather. Tang Tu cheered, eyes shining. Now listen carefully, child, Tang Yun declared proudly. I'll teach you the ultimate technique for picking up girls. Tang Tu leaned in eagerly. Ultimate pickup technique, first style, girls aren't chased. They're attracted. Tang Tu's eyes lit up in awe. I see. Profound wisdom. Tang Yun, pleased, hoisted the unconscious fox demon onto his shoulder. I'll be borrowing your catch for a while. If anyone asks about me, you know what to say, right? Tang Tu saluted. Rest assured, Godfather. This child will uphold your good name. Good. Tang Yun vanished into the night. In a shadowy grove beyond the city walls, Tang Yun tied the fox demon to a tree. She remained limp, her face pale. Time to settle our old score, little fox, he muttered. With a light tap of his finger, a faint surge of chi jolted through her body. The fox demon's eyes fluttered open, confusion giving way to horror, as she recognized the man standing before her. "Why you?" she gasped. "It's you!" Tang Yun smirked. "The tables have turned, haven't they? You've finally fallen into my hands." She glared, teeth clenched. "Do what you want. Even if you kill me, I'll never reveal the location of my clan's sacred relic." Tang Yun chuckled darkly. "Sacred relic? I don't give a damn about that thing. And kill you? Dream on. Tonight I'll make you experience true torment." The fox demon trembled. What are you going to do?" Tang Yun crouched, wicked grin widening. "This." He began mercilessly tickling the soles of her feet. Ha! "No, stop! Ha!" The proud demoness quickly broke down, tears streaming down her cheeks as she writhed in laughter. "Weren't you acting tough just now?" Tang Yun teased. "Why are you begging for mercy so soon? I haven't even used half my techniques." "Stop. Please. I was wrong. I'll give you the relic, just let me go," she sobbed. Summoning her chi, she produced a small, shimmering object from within her body, a translucent gemstone that emitted a soft, golden glow. Tang Yun took it and examined it curiously. "What the hell is this thing for?" Back at the inn, Luyin woke up to find Tang Yun missing. Alarmed, she bolted upright. "Brother Tang Yun." She looked around, then spotted someone outside the window, Tang Tu, pacing nervously. Descending the stairs, she marched out. "You!" she barked. Tang Tu immediately straightened and greeted her cheerfully. "Godmother!" Luyin's brow twitched. "Godmother!" she echoed aghast. "What nonsense is this now? Where's Tang Yun?" Tang Tu hesitated. I know, but Godfather told this child not to say." Luyin's gaze darkened. "Are you going to talk, or shall I beat it out of you?" Tang Tu paled. Back in the forest, Tang Yun continued examining the gemstone. "What is this thing for?" A voice sounded coldly behind him. "I was about to ask you the same thing." Tang Yun nearly dropped the relic in fright. Wife? How did you? How could I not come?" Luyin snapped, arms crossed. Tang Yun fumbled, smiling sheepishly. No, you misunderstand. I was just interrogating this demon spy." "And what's that you're holding?" Luyin reached for the relic. "Wait, wife, I haven't figured out how it works yet." "Who are you planning to figure it out with, I don't understand what you mean." The two began bickering, and in their struggle, the gemstones slipped from their hands, shattering on the ground. A burst of golden light erupted, engulfing them. When the light faded, they found themselves standing in an ancient underground chamber. Massive stone pillars loomed around them, and ancient runes shimmered on a monolithic stone tablet at the center. Tang Yun and Luyin exchanged a wary glance. "Brother Tang Yun, these words," Luyin murmured. The tablet's inscription spoke of an ancient war. Suddenly, images appeared before them, a terrible battlefield where monstrous beasts fought desperately against a legion of alien warships that rained fire from the skies. A lone, godlike warrior appeared, obliterating the enemy vessels in a single, sweeping attack. Meanwhile, back at the inn, Manhua slept peacefully, mumbling in her sleep. "Sister Luyin, hee." The night's chaos continued to unfold elsewhere. To be continued. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more thrilling wuxia adventures and hilarious moments.